Hello, my name is Blair Kingsley. I'm the Solutions Architect for Verismic, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. For those of you whom are new to us, at Verismic we've a long history of designing solutions to enhance our customers' systems management capability. With our award-winning software Verismic Power Manager, we developed a PC power management solution with the vision of ensuring that organizations of all sizes would have the flexibility to centrally manage their PC energy consumption. Power Manager can be delivered in a number of different ways through on-premise and hosted installations, or managed service providers could host this and provide it to their customers using a cloud-based model. With its comprehensive features, it will provide the capability for you to safely power down your idle systems, resulting in large energy and carbon savings, and through its user awareness applet, environmental dashboard, and detailed reporting, will provide a great example to your students or staff of your sustainability standards in action. I'll be showing you some of the great foundational features that we've built our success upon, as well as some of the new additions that we've introduced with our latest 3.2 release. We designed Power Manager for distributed environments, so it offers easy and secure access via the web browser. Here at the login screen, you can see that I'm accessing the system via Internet Explorer. We can control access levels, perhaps giving administrators rights to configure settings and power policies, whilst IT and estates managers can safely use reporting-only access so that they can gather information without the risk of making accidental changes. As a dedicated solution, Power Manager supports PC servers and Macs. The system uses a client-server architecture, with all of the communication happening over HTTP or HTTPS for scalability and internet awareness. Using secure communication allows us to support the hosted delivery models. Managed clients can be deployed using a single file MSI, and once that's done, you immediately begin collecting usage metrics for devices and also have the capability to deliver effective power management policies. The agent will operate silently in the background, collecting information about the devices that you have and also how and when they're being used, in order to provide detailed metrics for analysis and reporting purposes. Frequency settings for the agent to report back information and to accept new policy changes can be altered without the requirement to redeploy the agent. And when a new version of Power Manager is installed and you've performed any required testing, the agent can then use the self-updating feature to automatically apply the new version at the device. With version 3.2, we also provide the ability for the software to not only identify the requirement for, but also to deploy its own agent to existing unmanaged devices within your environment. You can configure the agent coverage tool with network ranges and then run scheduled tasks against those to discover any devices that don't have the agent installed, and then we can remotely push the agent to those systems whilst retaining safety by automatically excluding servers and other deployment exceptions that you specify. Having completed that, the Reports tab will then give you access to information that allows you to visibly understand your current levels of agent coverage. With the agent deployed, we now have the capability to see information about individual or groups of systems within the dashboard or the many canned reports that are available. The dashboard provides access to information in a simple and clear interface, and this was designed to reduce the difficulty that is often associated with systems management tools, whilst taking full advantage of navigational structures like Active Directory or providing a means to create a structure where they don't already exist. When we're looking to implement PC power management, a starting point might be to review the current user and system behavior within our environment so that we can identify the costs of our existing situation, look at areas where perhaps energy is being wasted, and then we can move on and assess the potential for change to that behavior and the savings that can be made from that. Within the Power Manager dashboard, we can see the energy consumption levels, and we can do that at both a global level, or we can drill down to specific regions and departments and look at that information locally. So the console offers a powerful hierarchical navigation on the left-hand side, combined with some context-sensitive dashboards on the right to present key data to the user that is filtered by the particular location or even perhaps hardware type that they're interested in. And we can quickly identify areas with further potential for energy and cost savings by looking at, for example, the inactivity graph, which is one way of identifying quickly if systems are being left idle for long periods of time whilst they're still being left powered on. And the consumption information is linked to reference data, such as the power costs for each region or location, the energy carbon output, and that data is automatically translated into useful metrics for you so that you can see the actual costs of that energy for each region as well. And to support large organizations, Power Manager is very scalable, and we have both multi-currency and multi-language environment support. So regardless of where the server is located, the language in the console can change to reflect that of the user. And each user can actually switch out the currency that is used for their own regional costs and savings reports. One of the key benefits of a solution like this is the accuracy of the information that it presents. And so when we're looking at something like energy consumption in the estate, we of course need to take into account that the variety of systems that we have out there would consume different amounts of power. So you might have a mix of older legacy kit and also more energy efficient modern systems. And so part of the job of the Power Manager agent, once we've deployed it, is to collect some information about the systems themselves. And if we go to the Computers tab, we can see here each of the devices that we've deployed to includes information about the manufacturer and model of each device. Now we use that information to automatically create a structure under the Computers and Monitors section on the left hand side here. And when we're telling the software how much energy devices consume, we could start off at a top level and put in some generic values. But we can also drill down to each specific type of device and enter power consumption values for the different power states that the system can enter. And this information can be sourced from the vendor's website for those devices or from Energy Star for the systems that they support. And Verismic also have a content service under the options menu here that will allow you to automatically download and update some of those figures for some of the systems that we've come across when deploying this into customer sites. At this stage, we now have accurate information about our energy consumption on a model-by-model, site-by-site basis, with Power Manager doing all of the calculations and presenting this information to us. When reviewing information in the dashboard, running reports, or in fact later when we come to apply power policies, it is normal to have to do this at different levels within the organizational structure. When we were designing the software, we wanted to ensure it supported the organizational needs of small businesses all the way up to large multinational enterprises, and there are several features that we built in to achieve the granularity that we required. Although we don't rely on it being present in order to function, Power Manager is able to leverage Active Directory for a reporting structure and also as a targeting model for policies. We can connect to and browse the organizational structure within one or more domains and review the dashboard, run reports, and also assign power policies based on groups or devices within that. We use an inheritance model similar to AD so that policies can be applied at a top level. Those will filter down to lower levels, but we can also always override the default for specific systems. Note that Power Manager doesn't use group policy to deliver policies on client devices, as we felt this contained restrictions that prevented effective management, and therefore delivery and enforcement of policies is done by Power Manager's own technology. Unlike other solutions that require a permanent connection or a regular query or import of Active Directory, Power Manager can automatically collect and build the Active Directory structure using data that's provided by the client agent. And this means that even in a system that's hosted by us or by a managed service provider, each customer's Active Directory can be used to target and report without the system ever needing to see, connect to, or put any load on AD itself. For customers with no Active Directory or those who do not have a suitable structure within it for effective policy assignment, we offer the Global Site View. Under the Global Site View, the administrator is able to create a site structure. And that will allow them to organise systems into groups for both reporting purposes and also for the targeting of policies. We're able to move devices between those site groups either manually by selecting the option from the context menu on a device, or alternatively, if we like, we can associate those site groups with network ranges in the agent coverage tool, and that will mean then systems will move around those groups automatically based on their location. It is easy to select a site, for example, one which has no power policy applied, and then to run reports which will show, for example, the current levels of user inactivity and energy wastage for that specific group of systems. The activity report that you're seeing on the screen now shows very clearly that this is a set of systems that is left powered on but idle for the majority of time period that we've selected. The red section of the graph actually represents that. Either using the site structure we now have in Active Directory and the global site view, we can run reports to show the difference in energy consumption and costs between those different sites over time. Perhaps to see whether applying a different policy at a site has actually reduced its wastage in comparison to some of the others. What we can see in the report on the screen now is that clearly where we've applied a policy, there has been a drop in the amount of energy being consumed by those systems. So in the reports, we can see our detailed information about energy consumption and then convert that into a hard financial cost by entering the amount that we're actually paying for that energy into the system. Power Manager supports an unlimited number of power vendors so that cost and carbon data is accurately recorded for each location which might have a different provider. Once we have created an entry for a power vendor, we can easily assign it to any of the specific groups within our organizational structure. We support different currencies for each vendor and can ensure that calculations for the dashboard and reports are actually based on the regional costs for power. To ensure international compatibility, Power Manager automatically handles multiple currencies, including looking at the daily exchange rate updates, and supports true historical localized currency data rather than values based on exchange rate at the time of reporting. Exchange rates are automatically updated and costs are stored at the value in each appropriate currency at that time. So unlike some other solutions, historical cost data won't fluctuate as exchange rates change, nor will you be required to manually enter power prices in the local currency each time you run a report. Power Manager supports more than 15 of those currencies out of the box and can include as many additional currencies as you require. Since each vendor will have a different power generation model, Power Manager allows for each vendor to have their generation sources listed along with their emission levels. So for those of you who are working to reduce emissions as well as costs, that's quite a vital component for reporting and planning. In addition, for vendors with flexible rates, we can also enter different off and on-peak prices into the vendor scheduler so that the system knows that when those different rates take effect. Having identified a requirement for better management of PC energy usage, and through the comprehensive reporting discovered target areas of the business where we can make a significant difference in consumption and therefore costs, we now move on to the application of policies. Going above and beyond the capabilities of Windows as a standard, Power Manager enables policies to be designed and applied that will adapt to business needs. For example, if your business closes over a weekend, more aggressive power policies can be applied. If you have known periods of downtime, such as at the end of a shift, policies can adapt down to the granularity of a single minute to provide the correct level of power management to support your business. Within the Power Manager console, we can create one or more granular policies that can control system behavior and be deployed using multiple targeting methods. Policies are applied and then enforced automatically by the agents themselves, and the agent is responsible for intelligently applying policies and adjusting those based on the rules and conditions that you provide within each. Power management actions can be included in policies to control when and under which conditions PCs are placed into standby and hibernate. Actions can be set to occur at any point in time or may be based on system inactivity and actions can be modified based on the day of the week, and we can go right down to the individual minute of the day. Having granular policies means that system behaviour is actually appropriate to the purpose of the systems and the point in time where they're being used and operational. We can have policies which are more aggressive during non-business hours but passive during peak working times, and businesses are able to target based upon their known breaks or departmental behaviour. Traditionally, powering off systems is the only recognised way to save energy, and this can mean that many users object to the impact or critical systems are excluded to avoid potential risk. Verismic provides the dynamic efficiency feature to automatically take advantage of the power-saving capabilities inherent within modern hardware and processors to reduce consumption while devices remain online and fully available. This capability has multiple uses, such as saving energy on devices that can't be powered off, like servers or other critical systems, or extending the productive use period of mobile devices by extending battery life. Each policy can be configured to allow users to opt out, and the maximum period of opt-out can be set. This gives users the flexibility they desire without the ability to disable power management completely. Opt-out events are recorded and available for reporting and analysis. Individual systems or groups of systems can be excluded from power management entirely, such as critical servers, while still retaining the ability to collect their metrics. When excluded, even if accidentally targeted with a policy, they will not apply those settings. Individual applications can be protected fully, so that when in memory, power management will be suspended. But once those programs are closed, power management will resume. This facility avoids exceptions causing systems never to be power managed. In addition, busy applications can be defined so that only if an application is detected to be processing something at the time an event should occur will power management be suspended, and once the application is not busy, it will again be resumed. This feature can stop devices being power managed when a user is away from a device. Thus, normally the system might be considered idle, but in actual fact, applications are busy performing routines, perhaps like backups. User documents and applications are kept safe using the available Safe Shutdown feature, which will auto-save Office documents, and also you can use pre- and post-scripting features to protect additional applications. If we have scheduled systems with a hard power down at a specific time rather than on an inactivity basis, the user on a client device will receive prompts before power events to allow them time to cancel the power down and continue working. Perhaps, for example, a user is working later than normal. If we've based events on inactivity, we can optionally show a system tray icon that allows the user to select the opt-out option before a presentation, thus their system is excluded for that period of time, even if they're not actively touching the mouse or keyboard. When logging on or through the system tray, users can also access any Office documents that were saved by the Verismic Safe Shutdown feature. They can view those, open them up, and make sure that they've saved those to their normal location. Using standard OS power management settings where systems enter sleep modes due to inactivity is not always successful, and that's because Windows generates a power query event essentially asking permission from applications to power down the system, and it resets the inactivity timers not based on what the user is doing, but based on application activity levels such as disk and CPU. With such an open definition of activity, and with applications able to deny permissions, Windows itself is often unable to send a machine to sleep. As an example, media player left running a video or playing music will deny the right to power down a device, or a background antivirus scan might do the same. PC insomnia or sleeplessness has been reported by both business and government institutions that we've been working with, and can render standard OS policy settings ineffectual. Power Manager provides extensive capabilities to detect and overcome this condition, including an enforcement mode within policies and pre-post event scripting. The enforce mode will check to see whether systems scheduled to perform a power event have been successful, and if enabled, will attempt to force the system into the expected state. Now that we've designed some policies, we want to target them independently to different regions, departments, and individuals that will have differing business needs. With the advanced hierarchical model we've seen employed by the software, policies may be applied at any level with the knowledge that systems further down the tree will inherit policy settings. Policies may be applied based on geographical groupings within the global site view, or alternatively directly against Active Directory containers, ensuring that systems will receive the policies most suited to their business use. With Power Manager version 3.2, we also introduced the ability to target systems with policies based upon the existence of a software application, understanding that users of systems will have different exclusion or application protection needs, and we can query our inventory database for systems that have that piece of software installed and treat those differently. Where a device qualifies for more than one power policy through two or more of the available allocation mechanisms, you have the ability to define which has priority and the order in which priority should be applied. Once we've designed some power policies, before we actually go ahead and apply those to different groups of systems, we might want to understand the potential impact that the policies will have, both to the amount of energy the devices will consume and also to the cost of running those systems to the business. What Power Manager allows us to do is to select a specific group of devices, perhaps those that were previously excluded from any power policies, choose the policy that we've just designed, choose a date range that contains the historical data that we've been collecting about those systems and their usage, and then we can run essentially a predictive cost savings report against that data and those devices that will show us the potential differences in energy consumption, carbon output and costs should we have applied that policy to those systems across that period of time. Not only will this help us to understand our potential for cost savings, but it will also allow us to understand the difference between a less aggressive and a more aggressive power policy when we're designing policies and trying to create a business case for applying those. As well as powering systems down, using a combination of different technologies, Power Manager can wake your systems up so that they're available for maintenance or for users to use at the appropriate times in the working day. Power Manager uses Wake on LAN, but doesn't rely on it. For pre-scheduled events, a locally scheduled wake-up timer is set on the device, allowing it to wake from sleep or hibernation modes without the requirement for a remote command. Unlike many other solutions, Power Manager clients can act as part of the management infrastructure and can make sure that Wake on LAN messages are sent from within the local subnet on which target machines reside. This mechanism is actually fully automated. You don't need to manually select representative devices, and it even combines with locally scheduled wake-ups so that the best possible wake-up coverage is achieved without the requirement to reconfigure routers. Wake-up events can be performed in a number of different ways. We can have those switch devices on as part of a policy scheduled wake up. That would be for a regular event like having devices switch on in the morning ready for when users come to work. We can select one or more systems from the computers list and wake them up on an ad hoc basis. We have the Wake Up on Web dashboard, which is used for managed and hosted in scenarios whereby administrator can wake up devices even though the server is located in the cloud. They can wake up systems located within their local infrastructure. And finally, we have the Wake Up My PC app for iPhone and Android, which will allow individual users to wake up their own systems, perhaps if they need to VPN from home into work one day. Verismic recognises the importance of educating staff and students about green initiatives. The software includes features that allow users to be involved and monitor their efficiency progress and empowers other areas of the business to promote efficiency and environmental initiatives that go beyond just PC power management. PC power management is only one aspect of a coherent energy reduction strategy, and Power Manager can help promote other initiatives through the Tip of the Day feature. This feature will allow other areas of the business to promote their activities or to remind users of desirable activities, such as turning off lights or peripherals. That will contribute to overall efficiency improvements. Recognizing the need to involve users is an important aspect of any coordinated environmental policy, and Power Manager allows for integration of PC power management into this strategy and allows its coverage to be leveraged effectively. Users can see how Power Manager is saving energy on their behalf by informing them of the activities or events performed by the solution. Information presented highlights how behavioral changes by users would increase efficiencies. Each user also gets an efficiency score that helps them to understand how well they're doing and if their performance is improving or declining. Each user is also able to compare their performance with their peers. The Power Tray has taken a complete overhaul from previous versions. The functionality offered within the Power Tray ensures an easy-to-use, positive experience for the end user. It is proven that the extent of user interaction is fully dependent upon ease of use and empowering the user to immediately see the results of their efforts, and this will always drive increased participation. We have enabled the end user to see through pleasing to the eye reports the benefit of their efforts and the trend of their involvement in reducing PC power consumption on the device that they're using. Having applied power policies to systems within our environment and involving end users, it's proven that power management helps the environment, reduces costs, and affects all those using PCs within your organization. This benefit is important to share with others in your organization to promote the success that you've had and to involve them further in the initiative. The environmental dashboard provides this externally consumable data in a simply understood format, using measures that are clear to everyone. Power management is a great green IT project, and we should be proud to show the progress that we've made. The environmental dashboard and reports in the system extend the flexibility present in the dashboard views so that we can see exactly how much energy, carbon and money that we've saved with the policies we've applied and by involving end users to work in a more energy efficient manner. Having introduced you to the core features within Verismic Power Manager, if you have any further interest in what you've seen or any questions regarding the content of this video, please do feel free to contact us or visit our website at www.verismic.com, where you can download product information and also register for a free trial of the software. I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank you for watching this video, and goodbye for now.